What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great Tuesday night. I myself am completely beat street. Had a wonderful evening with the lady. Got to watch a little bit of my guys over at 4th and John doing their mock draft. Go check that out if you've got the time. But it's been going wild here the last couple of months, guys. We are finally days away from the draft, and boy, I'm excited. So before I end my night, I wanted to jump on and talk a little bit of birds with you. So thank you for tuning in tonight. If you have any questions, any comments you want to throw my way, please feel free to do so. Now, tonight, we are going to talk a little bit about, of course, some of the stuff that is out there in the, social media verse, I guess we'll call it. It's out there. It's some of the same regurgitated stuff over and over again, but we'll put some truth to some of those things. But what we're going to get to right now is a little nugget Merrill Reese just dropped about an hour ago. Our man, Merrill, dude, what a national treasure he is. Despite the rumors, Merrill believes that the Eagles, he expects them to draft either Devonta Smith, Jaylen Waddle, Patrick Surtain, or Jaycee Horn, with an emphasis on the if they stay at number 12. Whoo, doggy. Well, you guys know that those four right there would be a dream for me. I would be ecstatic. Obviously, I like Jaycee Horn out of the bunch, but you know how I feel about Devonta Smith, Jaylen Waddle, and Patrick Surtain. So either way, wouldn't be mad about it. And I do believe this is why the Eagles traded back to 12. We've talked about this over and over again, ladies and gentlemen. Sure, this sucks. Oh, we don't have Jamar Chase, Kyle Pitts. I don't know if we trade back up in the top 10, possibly get one of those guys. But if we don't, if we stay at 12, there's still some pretty damn talented players in this draft. We've talked about it for months. And then when we traded back, we talked about that possibility before it happened. When it did, well, we talked about these players. Then we talked about the fact that, well, we could trade back up. We could trade back again. Doesn't really matter. We've got a lot of holes to fill. And I understand there's a lot of top guys everybody wants. And, if this guy comes, the team is fixed forever. Look, it's going to take more than one player. But if you add a superstar, yeah, it's going to help your team immensely. So if you give Jalen Hurts a receiver like Jamar Chase, yeah, that was going to make him a lot better. Regardless, this is what they did. We already moved. Nothing I can do about it. So I can hope and pray. I'm not putting too much hope into it that Jamar Chase or Kyle Pitts fall. But if it happens, well, good. Then I get to jump through that window out of pure excitement. But I'm not sure that is what's going to happen. So if it doesn't, those four names I just mentioned right there, and Merrill Reese, I mean, you got to put some, Merrill Reese, you got to put respect on the name. That's Merrill Reese, dude. So if he tells you, despite all these rumors you're seeing, and it's funny, every week I make a joke, about which player, social media is going to find out about this week. And, that's the pick. This is the guy. This is it. Every week it's, Rashawn Slater, Kwity Paye. It doesn't matter. Every week it's something. And, I post my videos that I've had for months about those people. And I always just post it on those people. It's like, yep. Yeah, that's a possibility. There's good players in this draft. So, yeah, it's quite possible that the Eagles draft a player. Oh, breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news. So, not so breaking to me. But apparently, we've talked about Kwity Paye. You guys know I had a little show about him about a month and a half ago. And he started to pick up a little bit of steam. Now, all I mentioned was the fact that he was probably, in my mind, one of the best edge rushers in this draft. And to me, edge rusher is always a position you have to watch out for with the Philadelphia Eagles, especially Howie Roseman. He could take an edge rusher at any point. So all I said was, watch out at 12. I would not make that pick at all. If that were me, you have got to be shitting me, especially if Jaycee Horn, Devonta Smith, Jaylen Waddle, or Patrick Surtain are available. Not all four of those guys aren't going to be available, but whoever's left out of that, I'm taking over Kwity Paye. So apparently today, Eagles are in love with Kwity Paye. I believe Tony Pauline said that, and I like to believe what he says. Trusted source there. So yeah, I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't be in love with this kid's talent, but doesn't mean we're going to draft him. So a lot of people, they hear that and it's, we're burning the house down. I can't take it. And I get it because look, if he makes that pick, I'm going to be with you. I'm going to be very angry. But I'm trying to hold on to some damn hope here for this draft, a little bit of optimism, and hope that the Eagles actually draft some damn good players. So we hear about that. And then you heard also today that they're also in love with Jaylen Waddle. And that was earlier in the day before any of this came out, which, like I said, Merrill Reese just posted that an hour ago. But yeah, we're in love with Jaylen Waddle. We should be. I remember posting a few months ago, wait until Twitter figures out who this kid is. Holy hell. Don't know how people weren't talking about Jaylen Waddle. Devonta Smith would not win that Heisman Trophy if Jaylen Waddle were there. Not saying because, he's not talented enough to win it. Obviously, he is. He just won it. But with two great receivers, there would have been too much to go around. And my God, Mac Jones would look even better. I don't even know. Man, that'd be wild to see. But regardless, Jaylen Waddle, he's got it all. He's not just a speedster, deep threat. He actually runs pretty damn good routes, has great hands. I think, he has it all. And, you hear kind of, he's got everything that Jalen Reagor was supposed to be. I think he's got everything that people thought Jalen Reagor was supposed to be. I know what Jalen Reagor is, and I know what he can be, will be. And I think Nick Sirianni is going to show the world what he can be and will be. And I'm excited for Jalen Reagor, but that doesn't mean you can't add another receiver. I've seen people say you can't add another receiver like him on this team. You can. You really can. He could move around. Same with Reagor in the slot, Z, whatever you want to call it. Travis Fulgham needs to hold down that X receiver. You're dancing with John Hightower, Quez Watkins. It doesn't matter what you want to. People get too infatuated, and they don't even half the time know what the hell the X, Y, Z, slot, tight end, any of the differences is. It's like, why half the time is the tight end in certain situations? Regardless, you see people out there losing their mind about these things, and it's like, okay, calm it down and take a gander at the Chiefs. I promise you, Tyreek Hill, Demarcus Robinson, and McCole Hardman, they all worked pretty well together. It's not something that we couldn't use. And a team that's going to be very run heavy, I do believe, with a dual threat quarterback, these speedsters, that's exactly what I want. And I think with the velocity that Jalen Hurts throws on this ball, I think obviously he's got to get some accuracy down, his reads, and everybody losing their mind. It's like, dude, he was a rookie last year. We had the most ridiculous offseason ever. No preseason. Calm it down, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give this kid a chance, see what he's got. And also these receivers with some actual coaching. So I'm excited for this whole damn team, baby. And whoever they're in love with, it better be a good pick. That's all I can say. Yes, Joey and Christine, you must have just tuned in. That is exactly what I was just talking about. Eagles being in love with Kwity Paye. So I don't think that's but people get caught up with whatever these, I don't know, experts, whatever you want to call them out there. They figure out who one of these guys are each week. And then it's that week, this is the guy the Eagles are going to take. And everybody, it's like, if you go through the weeks, you can see. And I always make jokes about it, but it's like, they figured out Jaylen Waddle the one week, and then it was Rashawn Slater and Kwity Paye. And it's so funny because every time I always have a video from before, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, here, I'll just post this for you. Like, he's been here. I don't know. I don't know. I love the draft. I love this stuff. And this is kind of just what I dedicate, any of my free time to. Obviously doing this for all of us guys. And it's like, it's disrespectful when you see some of these people out here talking about stuff. Like, you'll see people like, I just watched tape on this guy. And it's like, wait. Are you telling me that you just told me how we're not supposed to draft this guy and he sucks and this and that for months, and you've literally never watched him? I cannot do that with people. I had people telling me they were saying stuff about it has to be from the SEC. Look, if everyone from the SEC was just guaranteed to be a star, we would all just draft everyone from the SEC. Sure, talent is much better. Their competition much better. It's easier to gauge, what kind of player this person could possibly be. Doesn't mean they're going to be a star, but yeah, I get it. And like, this person's arguing, they're telling me this, that, you got to get Patrick Surtain. I'm like, Jaycee Horn's in the SEC. Whatever, dude. I was laughing with my buddy Chris about that earlier today. It's just, I'm not trying to argue with anybody. I want this to be fun. And, everybody's always bashing this kid or bashing that kid. It's like, dude, these are young men trying to make a career. I want to be happy for them, whatever happens for them. I'm not going to, bash these people. I mean, I really think, whoever we get here, we have a pretty high chance of getting a great player. There's a lot of talent in this draft. So yeah, we could sit here and be pessimistic but let's try to be optimistic about it, because we know how he sucked, right? Let's just hope that Andy Weidl, what I saw last week in that presser when Andy Weidl and Nick Sirianni were on either side of Howie Roseman in the middle there, it was great. They were like cutting him off. They were saying stuff, and they're like, look, we're showing him what this player is going to do in our offense, how we're going to use them, how this person is going to excel. I don't think that was happening with Doug and Howie. I think it was more of a dick measuring contest, trying to show who the smarter guy in the room is. Somebody had to go. Unfortunately, we talked about this last year. It was not going to be Howie Roseman because Jeffrey Lurie loves him. But he now knows that the fans are pissed. We are calling for his head. So if he does not if he's not successful in this draft, it's going to be bad. So there's definitely some pressure on Howie. He needs to make it happen. He better make it happen. Joey wants Devonta Smith or Waddle or these are literally the topics here we were just talking about. Yep. Those are the four guys that I've been saying. I mean, that's most likely at 12. One of those guys is going to be there. And those are the four guys that, I've obviously been clamoring for. And I think when Merrill Reese said something, you definitely more than a grain of salt. Take a few grains there. Just take a few there. But I love it. I would love to have any of those guys. I feel like at this point, how many years can we go without having a stud wide receiver or cornerback? I really don't know, man. That's why I begged for it. Last year, I sat here pleading that we would get an outside corner. Well, we didn't do that. I said, okay, well, then let's keep Sidney Jones, and we didn't keep Sidney Jones and Avonte Maddox outside. And I remember seeing all the beat reporters, all the press, everybody, Avonte Maddox is winning that outside job. And I said, yeah, and if he does, we're effing screwed. No way that guy belongs outside. I like Avonte Maddox, and I think he could really help at nickel. I think he can help as that defensive back that, Graylin Arnold played and Elijah Riley last year. Free safety, roaming around, certain matchups. He's not an outside corner. I think Nick Sirianni, Jonathan Gannon, this whole new coaching staff is going to help a lot of these players. He's one of those guys. I think it will, but you got to get an outside corner. You got to go for Jaycee Horn. I can't stress enough. Jaycee Horn needs to be the pick. I just think his toughness, his grit, everything about him, the way he talks, his manner, I think that's what we need. We got Jalen Hurts as the leader on offense, Jaycee Horn, leader on defense. I just think, dude, I'm trying to feel it in my loins. I want it. The two mock drafts I made the last 2 years, we got that player. Well, this year, Jaycee Horn was there. I took him. I'm trying to put that magic in the air. Please, football gods, give us Jaycee Horn. I'm all about it. But if he's gone, Patrick Surtain's gone, because I'd love to have Surtain as well. And look, I like Caleb Farley too. Just those injuries, man. I had Farley. I struggled in the beginning to even put him at the top. Then he had that back surgery, and I was like, oh, two of them. And he had like ACL injuries before. Little concerning after we just dealt with that with Sydney. It'll be fine. And well, anyway, one of those guys. If not, Devonta Smith, Jaylen Waddle, either one. I'm not afraid about Devonta Smith at all, about his size. I think it's comical. If you watch the kid, he can play. Sure, it's going to be a lot different when he's going against those NFL cornerbacks. He's going to have to learn to use those. I think he uses his hands well, but these guys are going to be tougher. It's going to be harder. He's a smart kid. I think that under the right tutelage, which he has here, I think these are very bright-minded coaches that have worked with quarterbacks, receivers. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. So give me one of them. I don't care. Literally, I'm all about it. Been too many, and we're in a prime spot to get one. Yeah, and that's the thing. Everybody said when we moved out of 6, we're screwed. We can't. No, this draft is loaded. And not only is it loaded right there, if you don't get a receiver at 1, we talk about getting a Rashad Bateman, a Terrace Marshall in the second round. Maybe you take that pick 37 and you try to move up, get there at the end of the first round, get another. Maybe you get a Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Maybe he falls somewhere. Holy sh! Could you imagine having him? That's that hybrid linebacker we talk about all the time, that he's the perfect nickel linebacker that we need. He is, Jonathan Gannon was like, yes, that's my Darius Leonard. We would have a linebacker. Could you imagine that? And I know a lot of people love Micah Parsons, and I like Micah Parsons, Penn State fan, but I'll be real with you. That off-the-field stuff, I'm all about giving people second chances, especially young men. A lot of stupid stuff. Now, I never did any stuff like that. That's weird, but all about learning, growing. But right now, we're retooling. I don't think that's the right pick right now. I really don't. But I like Micah Parsons. I think JOK is the guy that really excites me. But you also talk about if you don't get him, maybe at 37, you get a Nick Bolton. Maybe you get a Zaven Collins. There's so much talent. Zaven Collins, you can move all around everywhere. That guy's a freak. But Nick Bolton, I love him too. So please get a linebacker. Please. I mean, Dylan Moses might fall. There's actual talent in this draft, man. Come on, Howie. We're pulling for you, dude. last first-round cornerback was Lito. That is correct, King Austin, 2002. You saw that posted today on the 4th and John account, throwing out those bad boys. Look, Lito Shepherd. I don't know if you guys saw this last year, if you remember, or if you're part of anything I do, but I invited Lito Shepherd to come to the 4th and John tailgate last year. He was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll try to roll up. So he rolls up. He brings Hollis Thomas and Quentin Michael with him. I'm like, you got to be shitting me. Made sure he had a good time. I will tell you that here and now, he had a great time. And he let me know he had a great time. And, dude, I look forward to hanging out with Lito Shepherd again. He is a pretty cool dude. Yeah, that was awesome, though. So if you guys were there at that 4th John thing, you guys got a chance to meet him, take some pictures. That was awesome, dude. It really was. And then the next week, I was like, I'll ask another player. And I asked Westbrook. And he was like, nah. Like, that's how he answered, too. Like, nah. And I was like, all right, douchebag. So I, like, unfollowed him. I was like, I didn't know you were a little bitch. And then I kept seeing his, like, horseback mountain videos and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I'm good, dude. And I was like, man, that guy used to be my favorite. But find out a lot about your favorites as you grow up, and you're like, whoops. Really about to see what the draft is going to turn out to be. Tired of it. Yeah, dude, 2 days. Finally, it's about time. I was just talking to my buddies at 4th of John earlier before they went on with the draft. I wasn't able to go on. I had to do some things, but I was there for the pregame, just talking to them a little bit. And dude, I'm tired. I'm going to wake up tomorrow and be like, yes, last day I have to wake up and talk about the draft that's coming, because it pisses me off when I sit here and talk about so many things. And I love you guys tuning in. And sometimes, obviously you're not able to catch all my videos. So I don't get to talk with you guys, but I'll see stuff and I'm like, man, I made a video about that a month ago. And they're like, oh, did you see Gary McJenkins brought up? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, well, I talked about it. It's just like, regurgitated. So then I got to talk about something I already talked about. And people are like, why are you talking about it again? It's like, well, it's because that's what everybody's talking about. And if I try to talk about anything else, then everybody wants to talk about what everyone's talking about. But we don't roll that way. So that's why I always try to get down to the truth of things. And then we just talk about what you guys want to talk about, because that's what I'm about, man. I'm a diehard fan, dude. I just want to talk about my birds, not this weird world that it is today, dude. I'm 35. I grew up differently. It's just weird. Love Slay. He's great. Imagine having JC. Well, that's what I've been talking about for months, Chris. Right? Yes. Yes. And obviously last year I wanted a corner, so you knew I'd be on it again this year. And Jaycee Horn is that guy. Yes, I'm a huge fan of Reagor. Made that pre-draft video last year about why I thought he should be the Eagles pick. And I still feel that he is a great pick. I get it. Justin Jefferson's amazing. I didn't tell them to pass on Justin Jefferson. I never said that. But Jalen Reagor's a Philadelphia Eagle, so he's got my full support, not getting weird threats from me. And like kids trying to be like elementary bullies to him is really weird. He should learn to ignore it. I get it, but he's young. He likes social media just like you kids do. So it's just weird. He's an Eagle. I'm going to support him, dude. I want him to be good. We used a 1st-round pick on him, dude. I'm going to like show him my support so that he gets better. His mental health gets better and he can perform on the field, man. I'm all about it. I love Jalen Reagor, and I think Nick Sirianni's really going to utilize him. You saw him. He got a punt return one time. We're like, damn, maybe you should put him back on punt returns. You saw when Jalen Hurts came in that Packers game, he threw that go route. Wasn't a touchdown or anything, but, good 25, 35-yard gain. Dude, I remember jumping off my couch. I was like, that's what we need. Then he threw that bomb to Ward. That team. I mean, it just got me excited. I'm excited for the unknown, man. I really am. And I get it. There's going to be bumpy roads ahead, guys. Yes, this team isn't Super Bowl caliber anymore. And we weren't after we won, which has been downhill. But we knew what was happening. We knew last year was just nothing but pure hell. Turmoil, man. But that's over. It's a changing of the guard. And we could sit here and say, yeah, it's going to suck. We suck. Dumpster fire. I haven't even seen the 90-man roster yet. I have no idea what this coaching staff looks like when they coach. So how the hell am I supposed to tell you what it's going to look like? I'm just believing, baby, because I want to. It's been too rough these past few years, and especially with Corona this past year, it made me want to put my head through a wall half the time. So, holy hell, dude, Howie, it's all on you, dude. Our joy in life lies in your hands. And some people are like, you can't. It's a game. You get to you. To you it is. To me, birds are life. So, if you piss me off, Howie, you're going to have a rough time this year. A really rough time. All in on JC. Chris, I think most of us anyone that tunes into this show knows Jaycee Horn's that guy. Make the pick if he's there. If not, I'll cry a little bit, especially if it's the old crappy Cowboys that take him. But, oh, God. Oh, God. You saw Jerry was talking earlier today, talking about how it's going to be an offensive draft, the first 9 picks. So he's looking forward to getting the top defensive player. Don't want to see Micah Parsons there. I know they just lost Sean Lee. With the off-the-field issue stuff, I think that seems like a Cowboys kind of player. So maybe they go after Micah Parsons. Not sure. Seems like right up their alley, though. Yikes. I don't want to deal with it. They always get good linebackers, too. Son of a... Oh, I can't stand them. But don't... If they get Patrick Surtain or Jaycee Horn, I'm going to be pissed off either way. Damn it. But hopefully Rager can smoke them, and then whatever receiver we have. We talked about so many receivers here, guy. You guys know, as I played receiver back in the day, high school guys. I'm not one of those guys like, if I wouldn't have got hurt and started drinking, I'd be in the NFL. That's not gonna happen. I just love the damn game, and know a lot about receiver because I played it. So I put an emphasis on that, and obviously a lot of people want wide receiver this year. So we talked a lot about these wide receivers in this draft. Might even have some of these graphics still here. Let me take a little gander here through. Thought I did. Ah, what's that? No, that's not one of them. I was looking for. Well, here's one of the lists actually. Here's some late round wide receivers. And dude, I'm talking. There's just loads of. This was for like the 6th, 7th. Some of those guys I considered 5th round picks, but yeah, that list wasn't for anybody sooner than that, because a lot of people were like, why isn't this guy? And I'm like, dude, these are for, oh, here we go, dude. Boom. 1st, 2nd rounders. I could see Marshall Bateman at the back there. I had Tony Moore. I mean, there are some guys I really, really like. This was from a show a few weeks ago, but I still have the graphics in here. I probably feel about the same way about most of these guys. I'm sure I could change it around. Tamori and Terry, I think, will fall, and I will be there for it. Hopefully the Eagles get them some scary Terry. But there's a lot of damn talent in this. Nico Collins was somebody I talked about moving up on that show. We talked about, I think that's somebody that could definitely go in the 3rd. I could even see him sneaking in the 2nd if people are watching. Very talented kid. So don't get upset if we don't go with that receiver that you're looking for right away, because there's a lot of guys, even in the later rounds, we talked about, the likes of like Jonathan Adams was somebody I really liked. There's so many guys that every round I picked people that I really liked, and it was like, I would actually be pretty happy with that. So don't lose your mind if we don't get that guy that you're looking for right away. And look, we all have somebody we really like, and that's the thing about moving back to 12. At 6, it was easier. Pitts, Chase, that's what we want. Now it's like, do we go offense? Do we go defense? But that's kind of the pleasure, I think, for them, because they have so many damn holes. We needed to add more picks. Next year's draft's going to be effing loaded, baby. So I'm really looking forward to seeing if we get either way. We have 2 first rounders. Maybe we end up with 3 if Carson can stay healthy. And we'll see what we do in this draft. Maybe we move a couple pieces here and there, but we have 11 picks. We got Zach Ertz on the trade block. So you talk about moving back in the top 10, something I've mentioned, maybe you package Ertz in there at the end with a couple picks, and that sweetens the deal to move in there. So it's not going to be a 1st round pick and Ertz to move in the top 10. You're going to need some actual picks, and then Ertz will sweeten the deal, but I'd be all about it, baby. But apparently they're saying, Tony Pauline, that 6 or 7 teams are interested in Zach Ertz. Look, dude, I mean, we're beating a dead horse at this effing point. We know about half the effing league should be interested in Zach Ertz, even if they have a tight end. Try to work some things out with him. I get it. He is a fan favorite, but let's be real with ourselves here, guys. He wants new money that we don't have. So don't think he's coming back. Think we should have gave Doug another year to coach our birds. I liked Doug, but clearly he was failing. Didn't know how to coach these guys. He took Carson Wentz. Clearly we saw what happened to him. He failed miserably. So, people use the excuse, well, there were injuries and this and that. And it's like, yeah, when you put things into context, anybody would have failed, right? So Jalen Reagor, yeah, that's probably why he failed. When you run that same offense, you don't run the ball. We were at one point running the ball 35% of the time, even though we were like the 2nd best running team in the league. Hey, that's horrible coaching. And clearly there was some kind of strife between he and Howie. And you got to know, man, you can't fight with the mother-in-law, like you're going to get the wrath of the wife, dude. Like it's just, and if you mess with Howie, and you could see it, and it was talked about, but everybody wanted to brush it under the rug, and everything's fine. Everything's fine. Now he's gone. I love Doug Peterson. It was like when I lost my dad. That's literally like I almost felt that way when I was Doug. I was like, dude, it's coach, man. Got a Super Bowl, dude. Like that crushed me, dude. But something had to change, and we talked about that change before it even happened. So you got to prepare yourself unfortunately for some of these things, man. And that sucked, but it is what it is, man. He was not adjusting. He was not using Jalen Reagor, like Miles Sanders, Goddard, like all these people fell off the face of the earth. It wasn't just injuries. It was just crap. No one had any heart, no accountability. That's not good, man. That's not what a leader does. And you could see Doug fell off after that year. We had some really lucky times, man. Scenario where we get Devonta at 12 and trade up in the 20s for Farley is enticing. Well, Chris, I have a mock where we get somebody at 12 and then move back into the first, get a defensive player. So all about it. I've talked about Caleb Farley. Really like him. Just really scary with that injury history. JOK would be somebody, if he's in those 20s, you please, for the love of God, get him. Trade whatever you have to get back into that first round. Make 2 first-round picks this year, and I will be ecstatic. Matt the Cat, regardless of who we select at 12, they must be a day one starter. Thank you, Matt. Couldn't agree more. I've said this over and over again, but not just with that first pick. You need 3 out of those first 4 because you have 4 picks in the first 3 rounds. And 4 of those picks at the top 84, you need 3 of those guys at least. And the only way I accept one of them not starting is if it's an interior offensive lineman who is going to learn from Brandon Brooks, Jason Kelce, then I understand it. I get it. But other than that, these need to be day one starters. You look at this roster and you look at the effing holes. You're telling me you can't get yourself a starting outside corner, linebacker. We don't know what's going on with safety. Obviously, Rodney McLeod's not going to be ready for the beginning of the year. You got Anthony Harris. Love it. Kayvon Wallace, would love to see him step up, but maybe you get yourself a safety. Maybe a running back to pair with Miles. But I guarantee you could probably find a receiver, tight end, somebody that could definitely come in, make an impact, defensive end, edge rusher, whatever, dude. So yeah, I'm all about it. You got 11 picks, man. We got to make things happen. You got to package some of those up and move up. Do it, Howie. Do it. League change. Small players can get open with rule changes. Draft Devonta Smith. Well, yeah, I mean, this is a receiver happy league. Let's be real here. But even before that, guys his size do just fine. Randy Moss, I watched drop over and over again. Had some off the field issues. We all know about DK Metcalf, how things like that go. Randy Moss, little skinny guy, a lot of people, I don't know if he'll make it. Well, he did. He's the best receiver ever. So, I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be perfectly fine. I've watched the tape. I've seen him, and he does everything you need him to do. He wins one-on-ones, and I'm intrigued to see how much muscle he does put on, how his handwork is against some of these NFL corners. Very intrigued, but I think if anyone could do it, he's taking on SEC talent. I think he's very talented and will succeed. Yeah, Joey, I'm sick of mock drafts. That's why I make one every year. I do one day, and that's it. Because I enjoy talking about these players. That's why I make videos about the players. We break down the players. We talk about guys. And I'm not going to bore you guys. And what pisses me off about half this stuff is you got to listen to people, some of these reporters out here, and they'll make 74 mock drafts. And then we draft someone, they're like, well, you can see here, mock draft 36.8.9. I had him. Yep. It's like, well, dude, if you make 4,822 drafts, you're probably going to, at some point, I effing would hope you'd get somebody right. For me, I do a mock draft each year. 2 years ago, I did it. Had Andre Dillard. So we drafted. Last year, Jaylen Waddle. So we drafted. This year, I've got Jaycee Horn. Please keep the streak going. 3rd time the charm, right? I don't like to bore you guys. I don't want to just do that stupid stuff. It's more of just breaking down the player, showing you where I think guys are available, where they're going to be, where you can find guys where you don't have to be mad if you don't get a receiver right away or whatever it is, man. And if you guys like that stuff, hell yeah, do one every day. I don't care. That's all. But for me, I just feel like I can prove more if I just make one and get it right, and then rather than 3,422 of them. But to each their own, not knocking anybody. Just, I'm with you. I'm sick of mocking, sick of dancing around, sick of putting my thumb. I'm sick of making a video and then the next day having to hear about reporters. Well, I heard from a deep source. I'm like, am I your deep source? Because it seems like every time I make a YouTube video, you get a story. Okay. Love it. Rager's not bad at all. Willing to trade at 9. Make sure they don't get JC from us. Yeah, we've talked about the Broncos at 9. We've talked about the Panthers at 8. We've talked about the Lions at 7. Quite possible that we tried to make a move. People ask themselves, why? Why would you do that? You traded out of the top 10. Why would you go back in? Well, only way you would do that, I would hope, would be as if you're gaining more than you lost. Because why the hell would you trade back in if you're giving up more than where you were already at. That would be stupid as hell. So if you only have to give up a 3rd round pick and like a 5th round next year and then Zach Ertz to move up 3 spots, you still have that first, and you moved up 33 spots in this year's draft from the Dolphins. Not too shabby. So that's where it makes sense, and I'd be all about it. North Texas wide receiver could be a good mid-rounder. You are damn right he could be. Jalen Darden, all about it. There's great ones. There's great ones throughout. I think Goddard could be a top 5. Yeah, for sure. I think he was already in the top 8. I think he's a playmaker. He still has to work on some things. I don't think people realize that. Got better at blocking. He's definitely going to work on drops. There's a lot he actually needs to work on, but I like him, and I think he could definitely be a top tight end in this league. I'm interested in guys like Tommy Tremble in this draft. Noah Gray, I think would fit in here. I really would like, we're going to see the 12 personnel, the 13 personnel. You're going to see 2, 3 tight ends. It's just going to be, who are those guys? You got Goddard and Kroom. Don't know if Ertz comes back, so a lot of question marks here, guys. Miles Sanders should be 350 touchback. Yeah, and Chris, that's another thing. Someone was mentioning how great Doug was, and he really wasn't. You have Miles Sanders, and we clamor for 20 carries a game, but the guy never gets them, and when he does, he gets hurt. So that kind of scares me. That's why I talk about getting a guy like Javonte Williams possibly in the 2nd round. Maybe you wait, you get a Ramondre Stevenson in a later round. Not against it. I think a nice 1-2 punch would be all right. Jordan Howard, I think he's actually still like 26 years old. We talk about him like he's 942, but he's actually still kind of young. He's dealt with some injuries, but I think that he's really, he's still got some punch, but that's RB3. Then you have Boston Scott, RB4. You got to get a guy to be RB2. I think Javonte Williams would be the dream come true. Yeah, so it was criminal, but I think Nick Sirianni is going to run the ball a lot. So I'd get another running back, and let's run this damn thing down their throat, Chris. Safety from TCU, Ardarius Washington. Hell yeah. Let me pull something up here, Joey. I think we got... There he is. It's my mock draft last night. This is the one with no trades. You got Jaycee Horn, Zaven Collins, and then Ardarius Washington. As I mentioned last night in the video, I don't know if Ardarius Washington falls there. A lot of people a little low on Ardarius because of the fact that he is about 5'80" damn pounds. He's a little guy, but as I talked about, could see him in that Avonte Maddox role that I just talked about earlier in this video, where he's moving around. He can play that nickel corner. He can play safety. He's moving all around. He is a playmaker. Love it, Joey. All about it. So, yeah, agree with you on that one. Devontae is shifty with his body. Oh, dude, he's got great hips, great footwork, great handwork, and he is literally what you want to teach. I was talking about this one day. My kid heard me, and he was like, "What is it?" And I'm like, "Just like I teach you to catch the football. This dude is the training video for it." He's fantastic. His route running, everything. He is fantastic, and I'd jump right through that window right now. I'll turn the camera and show you. I'd love to have him on this team. So when I clamor for Jaycee Horn, it doesn't mean I don't still like Jaylen Waddle, Devonta Smith, or Patrick Surtain. Any of those 4 guys, and I'm okay with it. And honestly, if we trade back, depends on who we get. But if we go like to 15, I believe that's the Patriots. Maybe I hate the Patriots. I don't want to help them with anything. But if you move back, get some nice picks, and you still get like a Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, dude, I'm telling you, I'm gonna be okay with it. But this draft, I think you really need to just tune in at all times. I think it's going to be pure insanity. Even if you think we're not picking, like, oh, we used all our picks today, they'll probably trade back in. It's going to be awesome. I really think it is. But thank you, Joey. I really appreciate that. Joey and Christine, which one, but I appreciate anybody that watches, dude. You guys are always welcome. I even say any fan is welcome. This is a bird show, so we talk our birds, but I can always take the heat. I just love talking football, man. So I appreciate it. If this is your first time tuning in, truly appreciate you tuning in. You can follow me on all social media platforms, though. I'm all over YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. So I appreciate the support, but check out any of those places. And I really appreciate you. I do this every single day. We talk about our birds. That's just what life is to me. Had a near-death experience, had some health issues, kept me stuck inside, so started doing this. Now, Corona stuck me back inside again, working from home, so I get to spend every day with you, ladies and gentlemen, when I have the free time. Tonight, a little bit of a late one, so I apologize, but I always got to make some damn time for you guys. Appreciate you. Now, get to your next question. What do you think about Jalen Hurts? I think that I really like Jalen Hurts, and I was excited for that energy he brought last year where, look, Carson Wentz, we knew what was going to happen. He was going to get eaten alive every play. That's just how I feel. Pretty much, I think he is a good quarterback. I loved Carson Wentz. I had high hopes for him, and I'm really sad to see the way it ended, but it's just the way it is. This is a new era, and I really think the Eagles not naming him QB1 was not a big deal the other day. You got to keep people guessing in the draft. You're not going to show your hand, but I think he's QB1. I think that Jalen Hurts comes out and straight balls with this team. I think Nick Sirianni, Shane Steichen, Kevin Patullo, Brian Johnson, that was the passing game coordinator, quarterback coach, and offensive coordinator there. I think all those guys are going to help this young man. He's already working with the top trainers while Carson Wentz is out punching deer in the face. This dude, people get mad. Oh, I hate watching practice videos and training. It's like, I just want to see that this kid is working hard toward his goal, and that's being the best. This kid is driven. He wants to be the best. You can see it in his face. You can hear it when he talks. I love it, dude. He looks like somebody that's going to hold the team accountable, something we need. And with a coach that, seems, hey, a little Ted Lasso in him, I love it. I love his energy. I just love this positivity. I think Jalen Hurts is going to bring that. You're going to have oil and vinegar. They're not going to really mix, but, dude, it's perfect. They're going to go perfect together, and I really just think he brings that swagger that we need. I'm excited about it. I'm going to be real with you. I think that this dude is going to shine. And I'm not saying, he's going to come out. Going to be the top quarterback. First off, I think he's going to be great in fantasy. So if you play fantasy, pick him up. This dude's a dual threat, and these receivers are going to be better. We'll see what we add here. But this dude, he is really effing good. And if he gets better, which he definitely can, put the NFL on notice. So, yeah, it might take some time, but let's build around him, see what we got. Yes, Javonte Williams, I was just mentioning. Yes, and yes. Maybe a Ramondre Stevenson, maybe a Brendan Knox in 7th round undrafted. I don't know. There's guys everywhere, though, that I would be okay with. Definitely. It's Joey. Well, it's Joey. I appreciate you tuning in tonight, man. Oh, my Jesus. Well, someone asked me about this the other day. I think he's a piece of shit. And I also think it's very weird that people follow people like that. I don't, and sure, I know people probably didn't know that about him, but I always thought that dude was annoying. He just complains and he doesn't actually know anything about football. So it's like, why would you want to watch that? Don't you want to talk about the actual game? And you come to find out that most of those people don't even know anything about the game. So that's why they're not talking about the game. So it makes sense. But yeah, I think he's a piece of shit. Anybody who tries to get with kids needs their jaw broken. And if anyone has a problem with the words I just said there, you probably shouldn't watch it. Someone asked me about him the other day, and I said, that's funny you asked me today because I just bought one of my buddies owns his own business, makes like shirts and all kinds of cool stuff. And he made this shirt. There's a bunch of pedos around this area, and he made one that says burn your local pedophile. So went ahead and purchased one of those. I know people will be offended about that. Violence is not the answer, but I'll be real with you. Sometimes it is the perfect answer for people like that. So he's a piece of trash. I'll tell you that much. Anywho, I'll tell you one thing. Don't care about him, but I do care about the NFL draft. And when I wake up tomorrow, I'm going to be ecstatic knowing that it'll be the last day I have to talk about what could possibly happen and finally just talk about what is actually happening. Joey, I don't know if you follow 4th and John. I also work for those guys, not only do my own thing, but run the social media there, host some shows and write and do all kinds of stuff. Those guys are awesome over there. Everybody working there. Check out 4th and John, but I'm going to be live over there as well during the draft. We're going to have an all-day little party going on there every day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Friday and Saturday, we're going to start early as hell, but on Thursday, I think it'll start probably around 5:30. So keep your eyes peeled, but it's going to be a fun ride because it's going to be a wild draft. So it was interesting last year being live for that. We had people telling us like 5 minutes before the pick was in that, we were going to take Jalen Hurts. And literally we took it as like, okay, like, why would we take a quarterback? Like, I swear to God to you, I brushed it off and was just like, that's not real. Cause what? That's not. And then like 5 minutes later, they're like, no, the Eagles select Jalen Hurts. I was like, oh, what? And I remember saying, I was like, I wish him the best. I just was kind of hoping it was somewhere else. I thought Carson Wentz. Thought wrong. I think this team's going to be pretty good this year. Week schedule, Birds go 8. Now, I think we have the easiest schedule, so they say those things are stupid. They don't know what they're talking about. They have no idea what the other teams are actually even going to look like. It's not the same team as last year. You know what I mean? I hate when they do that. But yeah, you're right, Joey. They literally have a very easy schedule when you look at it on paper, and I think there's no excuse. A crap division, but a lot of those teams, added. And not only that, they got back a lot of their players. And so are we, though. So people seem to forget our entire offensive line's coming back. And, it's like, oh, well, they won't stay healthy. It's like, okay, well, then neither will Saquon Barkley. Neither will Dak Prescott. Okay, Ezekiel Elliott will suck and fumble and get hurt. Okay, I'll just say that everybody has to be the same they were last year. Ha, 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 ha. So if it's the same if it has to be the same, if everybody has to be injured, well, then I guess we got a chance, right? See, people just want to be pessimistic, Joey, and those people are annoying to me. I want to be optimistic about my Birds. And if it sucks, it sucks. We'll talk about it. But right now, we have no idea. So I'm just waiting, being patient, and talking about what could happen and being hopeful. Because, now we got 17 games. It's going to be wild. You've got the extra playoff team. So there's more chances, and this team's going to have to go through some growing pains. It's going to take a few weeks, but we got an extra week. Dude, I'm excited. I'm very excited for this young team. So I'm glad you found me, Joey, because I think you and I will get along well. When I was on my deathbed, I just tried to be positive because I was like dying, and we were going for our Super Bowl that year. So I just wanted people to believe in Nick Foles. And I told him that year why he would be the perfect backup. Everybody was pissed. But then when he came in, I said, I'm telling you, this dude could win the Super Bowl with the way this team's looking. Whoo, did I never heard the end of it, dude. Oh, you suck. You don't know anything about football. I even called into a certain radio station. I won't call them out. I won't do that to you. But I called in and I told him why Nick Foles would win the Super Bowl right before the Falcons playoff game. I was about to go into the link, let him know. Hung up on me, pissed. You don't know. We couldn't beat the Falcons, and even if we did, we couldn't move past either the Vikings or Saints. I called in after the Super Bowl and I let them know that we indeed did win the Super Bowl. Then I told them who we draft the next couple years. Look, let people keep telling you what they think they know. I'll just keep telling you what I think I know, and we'll just compare what happens. We'll go from there, right? That's how I look at it. While these people get caught for their racist tweets and being caught with children and whatever else, I'll just keep literally being a family man that does everything he possibly can to give you guys the news while was on my deathbed. Like, I go above and beyond to make sure that the way I look at it is, if you guys were me, what would I want? And that's the truth. And instant news all the time. Whenever something happens, I want to know about it when it actually matters. Stupid stuff. I don't care. You know me, guys. I stick to the truth. So if you're into that, you're in the right place. My address on Twitter, I'll pop that up here for you a second. It was not Gargano. It's a guy that has the same first initial and last initial. The word meatball, first letter. We'll just say that. Anywho, I guess you could call him a little turd. You guys would know what I'm talking about. But he throws tantrums when he doesn't know what he's talking about. And I was like, look, I'm just trying to give you some insight here, man. Like, I was trying to help you. And you're getting upset because you don't know football. Now you're mad at me. It's like, well, dude, instead of just getting mad, why don't you watch some tape? Or don't you, like, get actual football players in the studio? Like, ask them to teach you some stuff. That's what I would do. I don't know. Whatever. Sure, waste it all on your hot takes and have a great time with it. But I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I'm trying to kick ass, but still skinny as hell. I still look like I'm dying here half the time, but trying to get healthier, trying to get better. And now this effing COVID came, so I was back to work. They told me I would never be able to work and do whatever. I was like, yeah, you can. Not doing that. So I was doing great, having life back. I was feeling it. Still trying to get better. I mean, I got cirrhosis. It sucks, but let's be real here. Corona made it worse, dude. So thank God, though, for giving me the peace. A beautiful woman, beautiful child. Got to spend that time with them. My girl just opened a business. So it's been an insane week for me, dude, helping her out. Now I'm finally, after she just opened the shop this weekend, so now I'm finally going to get to my room. Can't wait. Got the desk here. My futon is right here. My dog turned it into his bed already, as you can tell. He's not in here tonight. I know some of you guys like him. He is quite the trip. But we're going to be painting this room, everything. I'm finally going to get to redo this effing room, maybe hang up some of this stuff I have just sitting in there. Super Bowl magazines, newspapers. Any hoot. But I appreciate all of you guys. Austin, Joey, everybody that tuned in tonight, Chris, anybody that had any comment or anybody that was just watching and wanted to hear about some birds. I truly appreciate you guys. But I know you had just asked Joey about where you could find me. So let me pop this up real quick. You can check me out on Facebook, On the Road to Victory, OTR2 Victory at Instagram and Twitter, and then, of course, On the Road to Victory with Jimmy Smith on YouTube. Appreciate all you guys that like and subscribe to the channel, retweet, whatever you're doing to support me. I truly appreciate that. Back to these comments. I do not still live in Philly, though. That's funny. The reason I got so hyped up was I was just coming back, and I came in the door, and I was like, dude, I'm making my video right now because I was so pumped. I had to run into the store, and as I'm standing in line, this guy walks in and he's like, hey, that's what I like to see, both wearing the right hat. And the guy in front of me was wearing a Eagles hat as well, and like the cashier. And I just was like, yeah, dude. I was like, oh, I'm diehard. And I turned around and he's like, oh, and a Philly shirt. And he's like, I'm from outside Philly, blah, blah. And starts going off, telling me where he's from. And I'm like, let me. So I try to make it as quick as, Corona, dude. I can't really be hanging out with people. So I'm like trying to stay away from these dudes. And I'm like, and if you know me, I just started like going back out with my mask, obviously. Got vaccine, whatever. But still, got to be careful. But I'm in there and, when it comes to the birds, you can't just walk away from that. You can't walk away from that. So he starts telling me a story. I'm like, let me tell you mine real quick. I was like, almost passed away a few years ago. And I was like, if you want to find out how much I'm dedicated to my birds, check out the channel On the Road to Victory. And they think I got him and the cashier in there. So hopefully they'll be checking out the video soon. But yeah, I love it. But I was telling them I'm the only person that was born here. Everybody else was born in Philly. Father from Germantown, mother from Mayfield, I believe it was called. So I was born here, which sucked. About 2.5 hours away, depending who's driving. About 2 hours for me. So they thought they were getting me away from the city. They were going to keep me out of trouble. So they take me to Timbuk F2, where I find nothing but trouble. So yeah, as soon as I graduated, I moved to Brooklyn. And that's a whole nother story in itself, because I was supposed to go on this cruise for a show that was based in Philadelphia. Dude, if I could sit here and tell you my life story, you'd probably laugh your asses off. But great stuff. And then I ended up finally getting to move back to Philly. And I used to work on 2nd Street in Old City. I used to work at this City Tavern. So if you've ever been there, you know that I used to have to dress like an effing colonial all the time, which at the time when you're 19 years old and everybody else you're working with and you've got all colonial uniforms and you just go in the bar and they're like, there's the new guy. I started drinking very young. And then when I was able to get in bars at like 19, it was a wrap after that. So wondering how I got cirrhosis at 30. Woo, it runs in the family, but that drinking definitely helped. Used to live in Philly, now Denver. Nice, man. I actually, unfortunately, moved back here. My dad was getting real sick. Unfortunately, passed away a few years ago, but I've been stuck in this hellhole ever since. Was working my way back to Philly, ended up getting really sick and almost dying. So then had to recover from that. Was working my way up again, almost getting money saved up, getting my life, like literally had to sell our car, house, had to move, everything. My life got turned upside down, financially destroyed, but stayed positive and got back on my feet. And then Corona came to make my life hell again. But I promise you, I will be back in Philly again, because with the things I'm doing now and the further I get and with the stuff I got going on with just 4th and John, even, I got to be closer. I'm hoping to get like a press pass next year. I want to be at all the events. Like I want to be at the draft. I want to be at the Senior Bowl, but I want to be at the Eagles games. Like I want to be in the locker rooms. Like it's time. There's a couple good reporters, but it's time people start asking the questions that need to be asked. It's time that the fans are given what they deserve. So that's what I sought out to do when I was on my deathbed, and I ain't going to stop now. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. I got to spend some time with the lady. it's been a long day. But thank you all for tuning in. You guys know I say it every night, but I mean it. If you need anything, you're going through anything, it doesn't just have to be about football. Reach out to me, man. We can always talk about anything. I've been through it. Not trying to preach, but don't go through life alone, especially in these times. Just so much going on. So always want to extend my hand to you guys. But thank you for taking the time on this wonderful Tuesday night, almost 12:30. I appreciate you guys. And tomorrow is going to be the last day we have to sit here and talk about who the Eagles might pick. So thank God for that. Can't wait. Can't wait, dude. So tomorrow, excited for that. You have a good night too, Joey. God bless, man. Thank you so much for tuning in. All you guys, thank you for tuning in. Have yourselves a great night. If you're watching this later, you can comment. I always try to get back to you guys. Thank you for following, liking, subscribing, checking me out on all these platforms. I truly appreciate all of your support. You guys are effing awesome. It's 12:30 and you guys are still here. I love it. Dude, it's coming. Cover your ears because you probably never heard this one before. But I'm going to get rolling out. You guys have yourselves a wonderful evening. And as always, Colors!